Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I'm your host, Davion, and I'm back with my boy Omega.
What going on, man?
And today we are continuing our quest to become the official podcast of Myers Park Hoops. But yeah, today we are talking about Myers Park High School. Their basketball team has just wrapped up another conference championship, going 20 and or 10 and 0 in the conference. They finished the season going 23 and 1. Oh no, that's the girls. Sorry.
2-2.
They finished at 22 and 2, finished 10 and 0 in the conference. And I mean they just look like they're in the driver's seat to go to a back-to-back finals in the state, in my opinion. That's what it looks like. But it's a
Oh,
long road ahead of them for that. So first off, I want to ask you, when it comes to conference play, Myers Park looked head over heels
oh yeah.
above the rest of them. No one can touch them. South Mac, who was number two in the conference, finished 20 and 4, 7 and 3 in the conference. They got beat by Myers Park 70-39 the other night. Looking at that, how are we feel? How are you feeling going into the this is the playoffs this week? The conference, no, into the conference tournament. How do you feel going into the conference tournament? Myers Park obviously had the first round bye, but they'll play either Olympic or AK on. Oh, no, no, they'll play Berry or Palisade on at 7:30 on Thursday. How do you feel about that?
Uh, they going well. I want them to keep playing hard. Don't take them lightly.
Hmm.
Even though they beat them by 40, both of those teams, damn near. But you know what I'm saying? Them boys, hey, this conference play is looking real easy to them, bro. Like they playing with their food out there though. But hey, some bad boys we got over there in the stable, bro.
Telling you, and you said it to perfection almost. Don't take them easy. Do not take your foot off the gas, because the moment you do, the moment you show some of that weakness, it's the moment that your season can be over, especially going into next week or the following week with
Playoff.
conference play, or I mean the playoffs. You don't want to like you don't want to look like this, like you don't belong. You don't want to show any fear. You don't want to do any of that. You want to go in there, handle business, put your foot on their necks, and show them why you are the best team in the state, and why you are a top four team in the country. That's what you need to do. That's what you have to continue to do. And if Myers Park can do that, I think they have potential to win back and back. I think remembering to stay level-headed I mean, you got to go up against teams like North Mac, Richmond again at one point potentially. Um, and you don't want to shy away from these teams. You don't want to show any sort of like weaknesses. So when we look at this week, I personally think Myers Park will probably play South Mac on Friday night. What are you what are you expecting? What does this team need to do in order to go into the following week conference state playoffs?
Uh, Going into it, so I'm not sure who they will play in the first round. But the conference game they play South Michigan. I say they need to like with teams like South Mick. No, not trying to disrespect them or nothing, but like they only got what's your boy Peter Mahoy or something like that.
Dirty.
He's good. You just
Hey,
need to, I would say, double team him, make somebody else score the ball
yeah.
because he had what 21 of their 24 points at halftime.
So yeah, I mean he had 21 of their 23 at half,
Yeah,
and I mean
23 at
Myers
half.
Park was only up by 14 points. So I think things, yeah, if you're keep
Things
playing,
like that, just cut it off early, so it won't. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So it
I
won't have to.
completely agree. Like going into halftime, they should have been up by 40. I mean, like you got to kill in there, take care of business. You cannot allow any room for a thought that they can win this game. You can't. And
Yeah.
granted, they came out at halftime and put 30 up on them pretty quick. And they went back to that defensive mentality. They went back to those things that gets the job done for Myers Park. The things that that not many teams does any better. And that's play defense. Myers Park, one of the best defensive team in the country, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And they've shown that against Paul, against um, some of these other teams. They have shown that they are defensively led. And I think if they can continue to do that, they'll be fine. Um, there's a player that this is no disrespect to him. I'm gonna say the way I'm gonna say this is gonna sound kind of disrespectful, but I don't mean no disrespect. But when watching Myers Park basketball, there's one player that stands out to me above the rest, and that is Sir Muhammad. Like
Actually,
you've said it from day one. I was like, I wasn't necessarily hesitant, but I was like, I just haven't seen enough. I haven't seen him play enough for me to have an opinion. But Sir looks like one of the best players that's ready for college ball that I've seen play in my life. And offensively, we know he got a ratchet. He can score at will in the paint, shooting the three ball, whatever it may be. But defensively, he's one of the most underrated players in the country. Like,
all around, bro.
I mean,
All,
his hands are everywhere on defense. He's calling out the play. He's seeing it. He's there, everywhere. And I think he can guard 1 through 5
oh yeah,
easily,
in high
especially at this
school,
level.
yeah,
Yeah, at this
definitely.
level, he can guard 1 through 5. And watching him playing is like it's almost like, man, like if you had a player like that on your team, you can just sit back and watch. Just coach him. Just coach him because
Mhm.
he he's if Myers Park can stay healthy for the next 2 weeks, which is I think is all they need to get to the state championship, right? I think it's like 2 weeks.
I think so.
I think it's like 2 weeks away or whatever. Then they'll be fine. Health is the number one leading factor to Myers Park. Granted, even if they, in my opinion, if they lost one, maybe even two players to injuries, they could still win that thing. Just
Yeah.
because it's next man up at Myers Park. It's defensive minded first. It's let's do what we've done best all season and let's do it to perfection. And so yeah, man, I mean that's all I got. I mean, anything else you got from when looking at Myers Park or their future?
I think they're another thing. I think they're pretty well coached. All the coaches are active and talking to all the players. And you know what I'm saying? Nick
Yeah.
Jones don't play.
So it's funny, we sat behind the bench I'm not gonna say anything that was said, but uh we sat behind the bench at the Myers Park versus South Met game last week, and the coaching staff and the coaching staff that Myers Park has, led by Scott Taylor with Nick Jones as an assistant and the rest, those dudes, they get it. They understand. They know how to get the best out of every single one of their players. They know what schemes work, how to work. They know how to ignite that fuel, that fume or that fire inside of every single player. Sadiq White, they had a very questionable first half. Not him in particular, but they just looked like they were soft and passive. I know it was senior night and they were calmed down on the nerves, but they looked like they were moving away from being their traditional selves, right? But Nick Jones, Coach Jones, he went in that timeout huddle and he said what he needed to say to whoever he needed to say. We'll keep that off the record. And that second half, a switch turned on. It was over. You look up, it was they're up by 30. And so that this team is so coachable. This team can continue to do this. They'll be fine. And so that's to me, that's one of the you make a valid point. I'm glad you brought it up. That coaching staff is just incredible. Nothing but respect and admiration for that, man. I love watching it, and I'm gonna continue to watch all season. So here's a question I have. Looking ahead to next season, Myers Park are losing Bishop Boswell, who's their starting point guard. They're losing Sir Muhammad, who is we've already said enough about Sir. They're gonna lose their backup center. And so they move into Ashton, who's one of their guards now. They lose into AJ, or Sudeep is going to obviously stay going into his senior year. AJ Jamison is there as well. What do you expect? I know it's very early to call, but what are you expecting about next season, and what are you looking forward to? Looking
I
into
really
going into this summer.
I really don't know. I don't know who they're gonna bring in, who's gonna come in. I don't know who's gonna leave. So, I really, hey, to be honest, I really don't got an answer for that, bro. I don't know. It just, I hope they bring in like, well, I hope everybody stays and like they bring in some more players or some or people that's already on the team and step up. They might bring some JV players up. We went to the JV game also. We seen some. couple all right pieces over
Some
there.
talent coming up the pipeline. So no disrespect to JV, you do your thing over there, but I mean, there's one or two players
I had a good season this year, bro.
that could roll with the big dogs. But looking at this team, I think like last season we saw. I think this last season we saw that there are players that needed to take that leap going into their senior year, and they did.
Yeah,
Sir, Bishop, they took that leap. Sadiq took a crazy leap, gained a lot of muscle, gained a couple of inches, in my opinion. Do you need that same thing from Ashton, from AJ? They need that leap to that next level because right now it's not there. It's not
yeah.
there from Ashton maturity wise. It's not there um in production at all, and especially on the offense and defensive standpoint. So this isn't me bashing him as a player at all. This is me saying, hey, you wanna go and try to win another state championship. You want to try to win conference. You want to be known as one of the best players in the country. Blah blah blah. You need to step up and show that you want to. You know what I mean? And I think that's what this team needs. Listen, I'm first to criticize, and this isn't me criticizing you at all. But this is me just saying how I guess it's criticizing you. I guess so. Who cares? But I'm not quick to criticize anybody, but I'm quick to tell you how I feel in order to light that thing on you. This is what you should do in order for you to be better. You do that
Fact,
to me, Omega. I do that to you. That's just how this
fact.
works. And so, if you want to be able to work at that next level, you need to be able to take criticism and use that as fuel.
It's gonna happen.
Absolutely. It's still. I mean, look at Joel Embiid and Shaq 2 seasons ago. Shaq said
Hmm.
he's playing soft. He's not playing good. What does he do? He wins second place in MVP, and he wins MVP last season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is no hate at all. This is obviously no hate. This is a very biased Myers Park podcast.
Oh yeah.
Very biased. And so I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens. And Nick Jones, if you listen to this, I heard that you want me to pay you 250 to get on the pod. I'm not, I don't got that, man. We're unofficial. You make us official, I'll pay you whatever you want. All right. I want my media passes till 2024. That's what we asking for. But any final thoughts you got on Myers Park basketball this year?
Let's go, boys. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this conference out the way and then we head to states. Let's get the states, man.
Let's get this back to back at Wake Forest this year, man. Let's do this year. Let's it's been a great year. Let's show them boys what we really about. Simple as that. But yeah, anyway, mega appreciate you for joining and jumping on today. I've been your host,
Sir.
David. It's been the post game. Peace.